Alrighty, well, we will jump right into things. Welcome to today's webinar. It is titled Using Pitching Research.com, and it is all about using the Pitching Research template website, how you can upload your ideas, the aspects of your thesis, and you can create a pitching research template easily, quickly, that you can use, share around with your mentors, with your peers, that you can use to get feedback and ultimately evolve and grow your research paper. So today's webinar is going to be covering a couple of different topics, but ultimately it's going to be all about using the Pitching Research website and how you can easily load it up on your computer and start uploading your ideas. So you can jump straight into things. And we're going to be covering mainly three kind of areas or three topics today. We're going to be covering the Pitching Research website as a whole, so the front website, as well as then creating an account so that we can get the most out of the website and all of the information and resources there. And then so that we can create an account and start using all that information in creating our pitches. We're then going to take a look at the actual pitch creator tool. This is what we're going to use to be creating our pitches, to be putting in our ideas, to design how our pitch looks, and then obviously saving it or exporting it and downloading it from our account. And then finally, we're going to take a look at the competitions, how we can look at any kind of open competitions, how we can register into them, how we can check out what the information is or any kind of categories, how we can upload into those competitions, and how we can manage and edit any kind of submissions that we've done in the past. And then we're going to take a final look, we're going to answer any questions, and then we're going to talk about how you can help share your feedback and how you can help shape the future of what the Pitching Research website could ultimately look like. So we're going to take a look at the Pitching Research website. This is the homepage and the home of the Pitching Research template. So this is where you will land if you were to search pitchingresearch.com. And this is where you can find a lot of easy accessible info, a lot of quick tidbits and knowledge pieces around using the Pitching Research template. It's got a bunch of quick links, buttons, videos, and this is where you will land and where a lot of people will land for the first time when exploring the Pitching Research template. Now, let's take a look at some of these tabs across the top. Now we have the Inspires Network. Now, this is a network of hundreds of members around the world, all connected and joined under the umbrella of the Pitching Research template. They are the Inspires Network. This is a global network. If you have been in any of Professor Robert Pfaff's webinars or connections before, you would have most likely heard him talk about this. But this is a global network that is aimed at teaching and building capacity around using the Pitching Research template. It's all around, rests on the themes of responsible science. So it's an amazing network. And this is where you can find a lot of easy accessible information around that too. Now, one other thing, or another tab across the top, is that we also have our competitions tab. And this is where you and anyone can find information about our current competitions, anything that's currently running that you can enroll into. It has a lot of key details around the competitions and a lot of more in-depth breakdowns, maybe around different categories, different aspects of participating in the competition. It also talks about who's eligible. Not every competition is open to every country or every type of researcher. So it's important to check the eligibility of each competition. And we're going to look more deeply into this a little bit later too. We've got a timeline, so you can see clearly the different stages and different phases of the competition. So you can be aware of any kind of information sessions, any deadlines, and things like that. And of course, some additional information and competition sponsors down the bottom. We then have our resources tab. Now, this is where you can access a whole load of different information and resources around using the Pitching Research template. These have all been categorized around different kind of modules or different sections or elements of learning the Pitching Research template. And these you can go through and learn at your own pace and complete any kind of different modules or aspects of to the template that you're or maybe lacking in or feel like you could evolve a little bit more. Now, there's a couple of elements on this page that I really want to draw your attention to. There's a couple of modules and resources that are so instrumental and key to just using the pitching research template as a whole. These are resources that Professor Robert Pfaff drills in and reinforces the importance of, and I want to highlight that again here. First of all, we have the SSRM paper of actually this one here, Pitching Research Matters. It's under module 2. This particular SSRM paper here is really important, so really make sure that you take a look at this and really read and digest a lot of that information and knowledge. A lot of these resources, all of them actually are just hyperlinked, so you can even just click these and that will open up that relevant page. So you can take a look, you can download that paper, browse it in your web browser, and get everything you need from that. There is a second content piece of this module 2 that I would really love, and Robert Pfaff would love you guys to take a look at too. And that is this module 2 for the presentation, the masterclass video. This one covers a lot of key aspects around using the pitching research template and has a ton of really important, really key information around getting the most out of it for your research. But those 2 modules are really great and have a lot of key info in them, but this entire page is just full of resources, of little tidbits, hints and tricks that you can use to really elevate your research and ultimately your pitch. Each of these modules have goals, self-paced goals that you can use to track and monitor your progress through each of the modules. And something else I should mention around this page too is in the coming days, we're about to be releasing, or in the next kind of week or so, some learning plans around using this page. Plans built around different types of learners. If you're an auditory learner, a visual learner, a reader, a writer, we've got plans that navigate you a track through each of these modules. So you're not just having to complete all of them, but you're completing the ones that are most relevant to your learning type. So we'll be releasing those in the coming days. So definitely make sure you follow along on any of the pitching research social pages. And we're going to be taking a look at those a little bit later too, but that'll be where we're releasing not only those learning plans, but tons of additional information, resources that you can use to, again, improve and enhance your pitch. If you have any kind of additional questions or any issues with using the pitching research template or website, and need to reach out to Professor Robert Pfaff for whatever reason, there's of course this contact button at the top here. You can send a little message and that'll come straight through to us at the team here. We've got a bunch of frequently asked questions. These are some of the most key and common things that kind of crop up. So definitely take a look at these kind of questions as well. But of course, if this isn't covered, by all means, jump straight into this contact form here, and we'll answer any questions that come through. Now, if you want to stay up to date around any updates around the pitching research template, the Inspires network, the network actually releases quarterly updates, quarterly blog posts that you can explore, almost like a newsletter that covers all the key updates, any kind of competitions, sister networks. This is tons of again, great information that you can use to really stay involved with the pitching research community, and of course the Inspires network. We've got a couple of updates that have already been released. We can see this one here for the end of 2021. But this has a ton, again, of really interesting information, extra links, tons of other resources to explore. This is another great place to follow along as well. But just behind my little webcam here, we've got this Start Pitching button. Now this will take us directly to the Pitch Creator tool. Now this is where that we can create an account. This is where we can start creating pitches. And this is where ultimately we can start engaging with competitions and engaging with the community. Now, if you have an account already, like by all means, jump in, log in, and you can log straight in right away. We're going to be looking at the account creation process just really quickly. We'll create a quick account and take a look at what our new dashboard, our new fresh dashboard looks like. Just a quick side note as well, if you are having any issues logging in, by all means, click this little enable to log in button. That'll take you straight to our account support page where you can reach out to our team here. They'll, of course, answer any kind of questions or issues that we might be having, and make sure that we can access your pitching research account. But let's take a look and hit this sign up button here. Now this has a bunch of different tabs that we're going to complete just to create an account. So I'm going to go and just put in my name here. I'm going to put in my email. Now I'm going to click my country or jurisdiction. Now this is ultimately the country in which you study in. Now, we obviously might have some students that are studying internationally overseas. This is going to be the location that your institution, your academic institution, your university is based in. So if I live in London, in England, but I'm studying at Harvard, then I would place my location as the United States. But I'm in Australia and I'm studying in Australia for the sake of this example. So I'm going to put Australia as my location. Now we can see as well that once I've selected my location, our organization or institution list starts to change. And this will base off our country. This is why it's really important to select the country where we're studying, because then we're going to get our list of universities that we can choose from. I'm going to select Bond University because that's my institution. But let's say, for example, if I'm looking through this list and I can't find my university or it's not listed for whatever reason, then don't worry, it's all good. You can just click this little button here and you can actually submit any kind of institution or university to us. I'll come straight through to our team here. We'll review that, just double check. And if that is actually a valid university or institution that's not in our list, then we'll get that, of course, added to not only the whole system, but also obviously your account as well. We're going to go through, we're going to select our type of researcher. Now for me, I'm just actually going to select that I'm a student, but of course, if you're a current PhD student, or if you've recently graduated and you're now a career researcher, then by all means, select your relevant tag there. And again, we have our discipline. Now this is going to be the different faculty that our research is within. I'm going to select, again, business management for the sake of this example. And based off the discipline, we then get a short list of fields. Now, if I was to change this discipline to say education, our list of options of fields will change based off obviously our discipline. And again, if we don't see the field that we like, we can just select other, and we can add any other field that we like in here. So I might put, say, digital marketing, and that will save that field to my account now. We're going to go through, going to add a password. And I'm going to complete that registration. And now I've created my account. So this is how our pitching research dashboard looks like. We don't have any pitches saved to our account yet, so things are looking pretty bare, but we can start to see how our dashboard kind of comes together. Right at the top here, underneath my pitches, when we do have some pitches, they'll start to list in a kind of table format down there. So we'll be able to see any pitches that are saved to our account. We'll be able to jump back into pitches that have previously been created or made. And we can edit pitches, delete them, download them, and submit them to competitions. We're going to get it all into that, don't worry. We then got our competitions tab. So this is going to list any competitions that are currently open that you can register into, participate into. There might be different competitions for different locations or different institutions, and the competitions that will show in your account will change based off the ones that you are eligible on. So this is again really important why it's great to keep your account settings all up to date. If things change, that's okay. You can click this little button here and change any kind of settings around, but your competitions and your account information will update and change based off the information that you have set in your account settings. Across the bottom here, we have our learning modules. Now this are quick and handy hints, handy links that we can use to go straight to any resources. So if you're in your dashboard, if you're creating a pitch and you're having an issue with it, like a certain aspect of pitching, then you can go right ahead and click that any kind of resources button, and it will take you straight to that relevant course or relevant module. So that's great. We've got, of course, our footer, some handy links across the bottom, and we've got some helpful links across the left-hand side too. So we have obviously a quick link to our dashboard, and this will take us straight to the Inspires network or our competitions page, again, to our resources. We've got some FAQs. This is where you can edit, again, your account settings. Looks very similar to that sign up page, but this is if any kind of details change, you can again hop straight in here and get that all updated. And let's say you have some thoughts or ideas around things that aren't working, things that you think could be better. We of course have this feedback button on, again, the left bar here. This will take you straight to our feedback page where you can share your thoughts, share your feedback, ultimately help shape the future of how the pitching research website is going to look and come together. If you have things that you think could make it better, by all means, share that feedback with us. We want to tailor and build this website around what is working for you and what is ultimately going to help you guys most. And so if you do have ideas around ultimately making the website better, please share your thoughts and share your feedback. But let's go in and take a look at what creating a pitch actually looks like. Now, obviously, we don't have any pitches saved yet, but we can click our big red button up here. This is going to help us create a pitch and take us ultimately to our pitch creator page. Now, there's a couple of different things going on this page right away. We can obviously see a bit of a template here for what our pitch might look like. We've got a couple of different options and buttons, and obviously these fields down the left-hand side too. Now, you might have noticed these fields seem to be matching up with the different sections of the template. And this is because this is where we can go in and start creating our pitch. So we can go in and one by one complete the different sections. So I can go in and I can add my name. I fill the research category, it might be marketing. We can select the date. Let's say if I previously created this pitch, maybe a week or a month or so ago, let's say I wrote it up on a whiteboard and maybe took a picture of it. I can come back here and at a later date, I can still upload it and still capture that date that I had those amazing ideas. So this is where we can select that date, but we're making our pitch today. So we're going to go and select today's date. We can then go in and add the different, obviously, sections of our pitch. So we've got a working title. Now, Professor Robert Pfaff, in the next week or so, we'll cover this a little bit later, but Robert Pfaff will be covering another workshop similar to this, but it's going to be all around top tips of using the pitching research template. So little tidbits of information, little handy hints that you can use to really tweak and refine and evolve your pitches to make them perfect. But we can go in and we can start adding a working title. Now, for the sake of this example, I'm going to be using a previous pitch, someone who came a runners-up in a previous pitching research competition. I'm going to be using Cersei Downing's pitch just as an example to complete the different sections and elements of the pitch. But we can see that when we go in and when we click in each of these different fields, our pitch highlights green. So we know clearly which section we're working on. If we were to change that field, the illumination would change too. And any of you who are keen observers might have noticed that once we started completing these fields right at the top, that these buttons up here started to change color. Like if I was to get rid of my name there, and it was a little bit lighter. If I get rid of marketing, same again. Similar to these almost traffic lights here too. When we've completed the section, it goes bright green and looks good. And it's because we want to get all of these sections complete. We want to complete every section of our pitch, because if we leave a section incomplete, then we haven't captured the full essence of our thesis. So as we go through and as we complete each of the sections, we're going to see these different elements update on the page and walk alongside us to give us those live updates of how our pitch is tracking and looking. So if I was to start adding some details into our working title here. So I've completed our working title. It's updated on our pitch, so we can see how that's all looking there too. So things are looking great. Now, we might have noticed as well, this bar here was updating and changing as I was typing those letters. So any of you who have reviewed or seen any of Robert Pfaff's workshops or explored any of those resources, you might have heard around the importance of the word count for each of the different pitch sections. It's really important to stay within these word counts. We don't want our pitch becoming excessively long and kind of overly complex. The whole beauty of the pitching research template is to succinctly capture those key ideas. So we want to do that in as minimal words as possible that still maintains all of your ideas. In the same token, we don't want to keep it too short. We want to make sure that we're still keeping it in this happy medium, enough to communicate the key ideas around that particular element of that pitch. So we can see that in this particular example, Cersei's one is a little bit over the suggested word count here. Let's take a look if we were to start removing some of those words, how that might look. So you can see that's looking green there. That's pretty good. But for the sake of this example again, we will just put that back. Now, you might have noticed some extra buttons above the tab here. This is actually where we can start editing and formatting how the different sections of our pitch looks. If we want to add in some superscript or subscript, we can do that. If we want a number or bullet point, we've got that too. All of this will save as rich text. So this formatting will also preserve on any pictures that you save to your account, that you download and save as a PDF. You'll still be able to view any of that kind of formatting too. So let's say we wanted to italic this. So it's a bit of a keyword of the title. Let's say we might want to bold some of these other keywords here. And let's say we want to underline these last 3 words here too. So now we can see that formatting is updated on our pitch, and when we later go to download and actually save this, that will still be there, and we'll still be able to view that formatting. And this becomes really handy when we start adding in some key papers. Obviously, the ideal amount of key papers is around 3 that we want to be resting our pitch on, and we can actually start numbering those. So we can add our paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. And that will again all preserve and keep that formatting really nice and really clear. So that's great and that's awesome. We can obviously go through and we can complete the different sections of our pitch. But let's say there's a certain section that we're struggling with, or let's say we've completed our working title here and it's it's over the word count and we're not too really sure what to do. We have each of the sections has this question mark bubble. This is actually a little hint button. So when we click that, this will reveal some extra info, some extra hints around each of these different sections. And if we were to click these for all of the different fields, we get tailored hints for each of that section. So, if we're finding that this word count is low, or for our key papers, it's double what it should be, or it's just well in the red, then we can look back here and go, oh, well, maybe we should be relying on 3 papers, not 5. We should be, giving certain hints and mapping key facets, maybe not explaining the entire paper. These hints here can be so helpful in, again, guiding your pitch to its perfect final edition. And each of these sections has hints to help you through that as well. And we also have these buttons at the top here. This is where we can start customizing how the interface looks. So let's say if for now you don't want to worry about those word counts, you just want to focus on getting your ideas into your template, and you don't want all of these red flashing lights shouting at you. That's okay. You can turn them off just at the top, and that's going to keep them all hidden. We can even hide those hints to keep that interface nice and clean. So now we're just literally capturing our ideas, and we can maybe come back and turn that on a little bit later and refine it and cut down and make our ideas more succinct. So that's great. We can also actually turn off this preview. You know, if we're working on a particular small browser, or we just don't really want to see that preview right now, we can turn it off. That way we're focusing again on just capturing our ideas into this page. We can maybe work off a smaller screen and have half a screen for maybe doing some research. This again just kind of adds the flexibility in how you want to use the pitching research template. All of these again can just be toggled and changed for each of your pitches. So this is gonna help kind of hopefully refine your experience of using a template. But if there are any more customization features that you want, things that you wish that you could change or update in how the interface looks, by all means, head back to that dashboard and use that feedback button. Now, let's say that we've started capturing our ideas like we have here, and we want to go and actually share some feedback or go back and change some account settings, but we still want to save and maybe come back to this at a later date. This exit button here will take us out of this pitch and take us back to the dashboard. And we get a couple of options. We got two options here. We can choose to exit and save. This is going to save the pitch to our account so we can browse it. We can come back and edit it later, download it. Or let's say we've done a little bit of pitching and we're finding that, this isn't the pitch for us and we just want to scrap it and delete it. And obviously we can exit without saving, but we want to come back to this one. So we're going to save. We can see that actually saves the pitch there. It uses a title, so you can tell which pitch it is. We can come back and edit, download, or obviously delete from there too. So if we wanted to, we could come and share some feedback on any other features we want to add in. But we're going to jump straight back into this pitch. There's a couple of other options that I want to look at. And we have these little buttons down here. We have this action menu. Now, let's say again, we're pitching and we need a bit of inspiration, or we want to look at some great pitches, some other pitch examples. And then we actually have, again, some hot buttons here. We can explore some pitch examples. We can jump again straight into those pitching resources, follow those learning plans. Again, they'll be on our social media. They'll be on our website, so you can download and navigate through that resources page nice and easily. Next to the action menu, we've got a download button. Now, let's say we'd finished this pitch and we're ready to go, and we want to print it off and start sharing it around. Then we can hit this download button. That's going to show our pitch in a PDF. It's going to capture all of our information, keep the formatting, any formatting that we've added. And of course, we can obviously download or save that to our computer and print it off. We can obviously save as well. This is another save button similar to clicking the exit and save, but this one's just a little bit easier. That's just going to quickly save the pitch and take you straight back to your dashboard. Now, there's something else I want to cover around saving your pitches. Let's say you've been working on your pitch for a while. You've got your sections that have been filling out. Let's add a little bit more information here. And then let's say unexpectedly our browser quits. We lose the ability to hit that save button. We're not sure what's happened, and we're not sure if we're going to be able to get back into that pitch. Well, don't worry, because what we can do is we can go straight back into our account. Just going to log straight back in here. And if we didn't hit that save button, our pitch is actually going to auto save and save anything that we haven't personally saved ourselves. If the pitch is already there, it's just going to update. It's just going to save any of those last changes and keep those locked in on that pitch. But let's say if we hadn't even hit that save button once, what might happen is our pitch that would show and save to our account, it would have a little auto save tag. This is to indicate that the pitching research system has taken over. It saw that you exited your session without ever saving your pitch once to your account. So the website will go ahead and auto save it for you. The only thing that you might find is that in your working title now, you might have this little tag here, auto save. that's totally fine. If you want to delete that or get rid of it, you can hop right in and obviously just edit out that tag as well. But those are just a couple of kind of measures that we added to kind of preserve anything that you're working on. We would hate for like a computer to crash, a computer to run out of battery or charge, and then you lose any of those amazing ideas that you've been working on. So that's a couple of other features that we've got added there too. Now let's take a look at these competitions. Now, just below our pictures is obviously where we'll find any competitions that are currently open. Again, these competitions, they're going to update and they're going to change based off your location of study, any institution that you have. I know in the past, the pitching research template has run competitions at certain universities. I know we've just finished a couple one in Malaysia. We just finished a competition in Indonesia. And of course, we have the global, the Inspires Global Pitching Research Competition running now, which is open to anyone in the world. But any pitches that are open will tile and show across your account here. Obviously, we're not registered into any pitch yet, so we could, if we wanted to, hit that register button. But let's first take a look and see if we can take a look at some of the competition information. Now, obviously, we've got the pitching title and a little description around the competition. This is going to be a lot of similar information that we saw actually on the front-facing website. So if we were to go ahead and click Learn More, this again will take us straight to that competitions page of the website that has a full breakdown, information, videos, eligibility, etc. But let's stick on this Untitled dashboard for now. We can see when entries open and when they close. Any special categories that might be open. Obviously, a lot of competitions are partnered with different journals, different organizations that might have special categories open to any kind of submissions. So definitely take a look at some of those categories because there can often be additional awards and prizes that you can often be eligible for just by entering into those categories if you're eligible for them. So definitely be sure to explore those special categories. Any prizes that are available will obviously be listed. For this particular competition, the Inspires Global Pitching Research Competition, there's a total or a prize money for first place of $10,000. There's a total prize pool of $40,000, and this is again broken down into those special categories. So as I say, be sure to check out those different categories when you are making a submission, and we're going to be taking a look at how we can enroll and register for each of those categories as well. And we can, of course, go down and submit a new entry. But what we're going to do first, we're going to make sure that we register into the competition. Fantastic. Let's go in and let's submit an entry. Now we can see right at the top, when we're completing a submission, it actually grabs information from our account. So again, this is really important to have our account settings all up to date, all our information looking perfect. Because this is when we do go ahead to do any kind of competition submissions, it's going to import the information straight from there. If you do see anything that's incorrect, like I've noticed that my surname might not be added here, I can of course go in and edit and that'll take me straight to my account settings page. So I can maybe update that. I might go in and actually update and change my field to accounting as well whilst I'm here. And now we can go right back in and we can submit our entry. So that's all updated. That's looking fantastic. And we can go in and we can start adding and completing the different fields that'll be relevant to our submission. So obviously for this one, we are going to be completing just a standard pitch, a new research idea that we've had. If we were searching back in 2016, we will be creating a standard pitch of a new research idea. Obviously, there's a couple of other pitch types. If those are relevant to you, by all means, again, select those. And those resources, those learning plans, the webinar sessions by Robert, and of course, those pitching top tips are going to be a great place to really unpack all of the different areas of the pitching research template. This is where we have our special categories. So we can choose if we want to nominate into any of them. Obviously, if we want to just submit our pitch into the competition as a whole, we can do that. We can select, no, we don't want to nominate for them, and we can just move on. But for now, we are going to explore what these, what the different categories look like. We'll make sure we actually select what pitch we want to. Now, something I should mention is that your actual look and aesthetic of completing a submission, creating an account, editing your account settings, all of these drop-downs here, they might look a little bit different on your computer. It will just depend on the browser that you're using. So you might look a little bit different, but the overall framing and structure of the website should look identical. So follow along. Now, this is where we can obviously nominate for different categories. Now, if we wanted to nominate for a journal, one of the ones in journal, we can tick that category there. And then we can see the different journals that are available to nominate for. Now, let's say if we find that our particular research piece is eligible for both the Pacific Basin and the Accounting Research Journal, and we actually want to submit to both of those. Obviously, once we select the Pacific Basin, we don't have another option to select the accounting. It's kind of one or the other. But that's okay. All you would need to do if you did want to submit and nominate for both of those categories is just go right ahead, complete the entire pitch, and then come back into the competition submission again, complete a new entry, and just select the second category that you would like to nominate for. But we're obviously just going to stick for the Pacific Basin Journal, just for this example. We are not going to be eligible for this one. We will select the Austrade topics. We're eligible for that one too. Once we've finished our special categories, we can move on to actually attaching the pitch to our submission. Now, right now, we've only got one pitch saved to our account, but if we have multiple pitches, all of these different pitches would list. We could browse and find the relevant one. But we are obviously just going to select this pitch for now. Now, we've noticed this little message was popped up when we've been completing our submission here. And this is because it noticed that our actual pitch doesn't have all of the sections completed. Obviously, when we went through to complete that example before, we didn't actually complete all of these different sections. There's a couple of different sections missing. And when we've gone to complete the submission, our competition submission has noticed that. So it's actually alerting us that not all those sections are complete. Obviously, if we're making a competition submission, we really want to make sure we're firstly selecting the right pitch, but that pitch has all of those sections completed. You know, that's low-hanging fruit that we want to make sure that we're completing. If we are going to do a competition submission, we want to give ourselves the best chance. And each of those sections of the pitching research template is equally as important. So we really want to make sure that we are, you know, completing all of those sections. But we're going to continue for now. And we're just going to use this for this example. And we'll select what we had before. Perfect. Now, let's say if we actually decide, oh, no, I didn't mean to select that one. Maybe I had a second pitch saved to my account that I could also select. We can undo that selection, or we can reselect as well. Now, something else that's important if you are going to make a competition submission is you need to capture just a couple of details from your research mentor. So we first need to capture our mentor name and just their email address, just in case there are any issues with submissions or anything that could happen down the line. It just gives us another port of call to make sure that we can reach out to you and keep you updated with any of those kind of updates. But what I'm going to do for now is just add my research mentor. And obviously, we don't want to be making any kind of submission to a competition without the permission of our mentor. We want to keep them in the loop of what we're doing. I especially hope that you have let them know that you intend to not only use the website, but complete a particular competition submission. You want to get them alongside you. They're in your team, they're shouting in your corner. So make sure you get them to review any of your pitches, export them from your account, email them to your mentor, collaborate and work with them to elevate and enhance your pitches. But if we'd already spoken to them around the competition and they're fully aware, then obviously they will be agreeable and acknowledging our submission. So we're going to tick that box there. This is really important to complete a submission. And if we actually don't have their permission, or if we don't tick this box, we're not going to be able to actually complete our submission. Obviously, we want to make sure that we're familiar and have read the competition rules and details. This is all covered on the competition page on the website. So make sure you're very familiar with that before completing any submissions. And if you like as well, we can keep you updated around any future competitions, any opportunities, updates, any things around the Inspires network and the pitching research template as a whole. We won't bombard you with emails, don't worry, but it is a great place to just stay up to date and informed around using the pitching research template. You don't have to tick this one if you don't want to complete a submission. Obviously, once we've read those competition rules and that we have the permission of our research advisor, and we can go ahead and we can preview our submission. So this is just a nice summary of the information that we've added. So it's got our personal information, our study information, our actual pitch information. We've got our ID receipt there, and any kind of special categories that we've nominated for. Of course, a little attachment of our actual pitch down the bottom. We're going to, of course, cancel. If we've noticed an issue at the last minute, we can cancel, and this will take us straight back just to this page below. Or, of course, we can go ahead and continue with our submission. When you do go ahead and complete your submission, you will get an email alert as well. So the email that you actually added on the pitch and that's added to your account, you will get a little email summary or receipt as confirmation that your pitch has been submitted. So seeing that email there will be a nice little sigh of relief that everything was received as well. If you don't receive that email, or if you do receive any kind of issues with that email on a whole, definitely jump into our account support page, our account settings page, or of course, just head straight through our contact page and reach straight out to us. We'll help out with any kind of issues that we're having there. Alrighty, and there we go. We have submitted our pitch to the competition. So let's hit continue. And now, once we are on this competition page, which we can access from our dashboard, if we keep scrolling down, we can actually see our submissions that list. These are any submissions that we've made. So once we've made a submission, it's going to start appearing. If we wanted to come in and submit a new entry, maybe a different pitch, a different research idea, or submit a different category, we can come straight back down and hit that submit new entry button. That button is also going to persist on our dashboard as well. But we can even view and take a look at this pitch, where again, it's going to take us back to our pitch summary page. This is where we can review all the different details that we made for our submission. And let's say when we're reviewing our summary, we've noticed a particular issue. Let's say we've saw that we've added accounting to our account settings. We've realized that actually it's more actually under economics. We've selected the wrong category. Oh my gosh, what do we do? It's okay. We can come through. We can delete the entry for the submission. We can confirm that. And then that submission will be gone and it'll be deleted. If we head back to our dashboard, we can still see that that pitch is there. Now, any submissions that we make to the competition with any pitches that are saved to our account, it's not going to disturb or cause any issues with our pitches that are saved. It's just going to take the pitch and submit it to the competition. But if you were to delete it from the competition, it's still going to preserve and still going to stay exactly as it is in your account. It's not going to disrupt anything there. So if you wanted to, or if you did notice any issues, you could again come right back in and just create a new submission with obviously all the correct information, and that will all save to your account. Of course, if there's any feedback, any issues that you're having with using the website, by all means, explore this feedback button, pass on your thoughts, share your feedback with us. We want to keep refining and evolving the website so it is the best tool that you can use to evolve and enhance your research. So by all means, please use that feedback page. Now, I mentioned this before as well, but coming up next week on the 16th of February, Robert Pfaff is actually hosting another webinar. This is going to be more around getting the most out of, not only about getting the most out of using the website, but ultimately getting the most out of all the different information and hints and resources that are out there. Robert's going to be taking a deep dive into the whole load of top tips around pitching research, around how you can refine and evolve your pitch to just elevate and be as fantastic as it can be. Robert's got hundreds of tips. If you've ever been in any of his sessions before, they're amazing. They're all encompassing. So definitely be sure to attend that session next week. This is really going to help you make sure your competition entries are as good and as stellar as they can be. Of course, this is where we can follow for updates as well. We have our Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube page. This is where we release handy hints, top tricks, resources, videos, examples, tons of, again, more information that you can use to really digest, be a part of the research community, and enhance and evolve your pitches. And one final time, here is that account support page as well. So you can obviously head to pitchingresearch.com/account support, account-support. It's going to take you straight to a little support page where you can reach out to us and the team here, and we'll obviously help out with any kind of issues that we're having. But of course, if any follow-up questions do come, or if you have any issues, questions, concerns, feedback, obviously you know where to share your feedback. But if you do have any follow-up questions, especially from today, by all means, jump straight into our contact page, send a message straight to us, and we'll reach out with a reply as soon as we can. Definitely be sure to attend the seminar, the webinar next week with Robert, diving straight into those pitching top tips. It's going to be an awesome webinar again. But if you can't attend, don't worry. We'll be recording that workshop just as we are with this one, so that you can still get all of those, all of that information, even if you're not able to attend on that actual live session. But thank you so much for attending today. It's been great to give you a rundown and a capture of using the Pitching Research website. And I hope that you can get the most out of it to really easily create your pitches and save and share them around. But thank you so much. All the best of luck in the Pitching Research competition. Definitely make sure to get your competition entries in soon. I know that they're closing in probably just under about 2 weeks now, just over about 2 weeks, so not that long, but definitely hop into the Pitching Research website, refine, complete your pitches, and then submit them to the competition. But that'll be all from me today. Thank you so much for joining. If you have any questions, send them through, but other than that, have a great day.